In this video, we're going to go over the good and bad of native advertising, including some pretty interesting examples. Now, native advertising, if you haven't heard or if you're just not sure what this is about, basically it's just advertising that's kind of in disguise. That's all it really is. It's a form of paid media where the actual ad itself kind of blends in with the natural content that's already there. And traditionally, you might have noticed this in magazines. If you see magazines and it says at the top like advertorial or paid advertisement, where you kind of think at first it's an article, but it seems kind of like really about this particular, washing machine and how good this washing machine is or whatever it happens to be about. And you start going, wait, they're really pro this washing machine. Or really, it's an advertisement that they paid for. And because they paid for it, they have to put on there that it's a paid advertisement or that it's an advertorial, but it can look like content. Polarizing. Definitely this is polarizing. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Mostly on the people who love it, well, let's face it, it's marketers. Marketers love this stuff. Just like any marketing strategy, though, there are some pros and cons. So here's some good examples of native advertising. Essentially, what this does is you've got this little Captain Morgan advertisement here. This is actually Captain Morgan, right? An advertisement for alcohol. But the title is 15 Things You Didn't Know About 15 Captains, Commanders, and Conquerors. It actually delivers content. So it's part of BuzzFeed. It's part of their example here of what's on BuzzFeed, but it delivers actual content. And because it does that, people are kind of happy with it. They're willing to tolerate it. They know that it's an ad. It's going to get clicks. And it may not be the best quality clicks because not everyone's going there to buy alcohol, obviously in this case, but it does promote their brand. And that's what they're looking for. Here's a bad example. This one came out pretty recently. This is about the Church of Scientology with the Atlantic. And what they did is they promoted this, but you don't see anywhere on there where it says, well, I shouldn't say that. You do, where it says sponsored content, but it was made to look exactly like a regular post, like a news post. And it wasn't super apparent that this was something that was, in fact, an ad for Scientology. It's pretty interesting. Now, normally, like you might see something in that little sponsored content section, that little yellow section there that says breaking news. I mean, people get blind to that. It wasn't really made apparent that this was a sponsor, and it basically became propaganda. People read it and they weren't sure what it was talking about. It hurt the Atlantic as a publisher, and it just gave everybody a whole bunch of bad press. So it kind of blew up in their face. Nothing that you really want to try to model. So in order for this to work, for native advertising to work, you really want to talk about, or think about, I should say, your integration. And this is the integration between the advertisement itself and what it looks like and the content that it delivers and the platform that you're doing this on. Because you can do this on anything. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Twitter. You can do it on LinkedIn. You can do it on Pinterest. Anywhere that you can pay for an ad, essentially, you can make it look like native. Like it's content, like the content that's around it, which again is what native advertising is all about. Just having it blend in with normal content that people will naturally consume so that it doesn't necessarily look like an ad, but that at the end of the day, it is an ad. They do require a little bit of work though. So make sure that you explore native advertising as a strategy. It is very, very important and you're going to need it. If you're not doing it now, you will need it. It's not something you should necessarily consider. You should do. We're recommending it as a tactic because that's what is required if you're doing any sort of Facebook or Twitter advertising. But make sure it delivers some sort of content, because if it delivers value, if the ad itself is value, and this technically works on sales pages and squeeze pages and anything else, if your advertisement contains value just in and of itself, just by itself, people will react better to it. And that includes improvement in conversions ultimately. But really, when it comes to this native strategy, that's what it's talking about. So you saw that Captain Morgan ad was 15 Things You Didn't Know About Captains, relates to Captain Morgan. Obviously, they're going to have advertisements and stuff on their page, and it might even be on their site. But at least it's delivering, if you click on that ad and you learn 15 things that you didn't know about captains and commanders, that's value. You're happy to click on that ad because it's giving you what you expected it would. If you just click on it and it says Captain Morgan 20% off, it's going to be irrelevant. It's going to create some sort of public media nightmare. So that's sort of what you want to look at when it comes to native advertising. Now, of course, our little marketing hack, go to your Facebook or Twitter account, create a post or a tweet, and talk about your call to action. Now, remember, native advertising doesn't always have to be paid. It just mostly is, especially on these particular medium, because if you don't pay for it, then very few people see it. But you can do it for free. You can go on there and just do a call to action that gets people to go to your site, but maybe try to do it in such a way where the content that you're providing is valuable in and of itself, And then you're asking them to go to your site. So maybe just reading the post is entertaining. Maybe it's a funny picture or something like that, where they get some sort of value, just even a laugh or just a feel-good statement. They get some value out of it. Then there's your call to action. That is something that helps make that experience even more valuable. That is a native advertising winner. And of course, boost your post on Facebook if you can. So boost your posts, promote those tweets, make sure people are seeing them, because if you've got your analytics set up properly, then you can manage and you can see exactly what's working and what's not, so that you can scale your marketing. For more information, of course, and if you have any questions, just visit us at seriouslysimplemarketing.com. Leave comments. We love to hear the comments and engage with you as much as we can there. And thanks again for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.